Right, so I'm live. No one's watching yet. That's okay. Wonder if anyone will. Keep my eye on that. Oh, someone's watching. Hello. Just me and you right now, whoever that is. Feel free to say something. Oh, 2 people. Oh, this is interesting. How quickly this is less than me just being alone. I was curious how quickly other people would join. I don't really know what this is. Just bored in quarantine and thought it'd be fun to do some talking to listeners. Anyone saying anything yet? No one's saying something. Please feel free to say stuff. Otherwise, it's just me having essentially a mental breakdown on camera for the world to see. There's 2 of you watching. I know you're there. I couldn't decide if this was a good idea or not. I basically just really wanted to take I had the camera set up already, and I just thought, oh, I'll go live for a little bit and see if anyone's around and wants to like talk or ask questions or whatever. 3 whole people watching. Terrifying. The numbers grow as people expect me to do something, I guess. I don't know what the plan is. There isn't one really. I thought people would be more interested in chatting and commenting, but apparently all of you guys so far just content to watch me lose my mind slowly. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Hello. We've gained someone. Ah, it's Commander Obsidian. Commander. Dance Monkey. If I could dance, I would dance. But if I was to dance, it would look a little bit like the Ricky Gervais dance from The Office. And we don't want that. We really don't. Oh, look how washed out I am on this side. Let me see if I can adjust the lighting. That's horrendous. I don't know what. No, I'm not really sure where the light's coming from. But there you go. Yeah, I mean, what kind of dancing would I even do? In such a small confined space without like immediately knocking into things. So Mark, I don't recognize you from a previous comment. So hello and welcome. Unless I'm missing something. Commander, an old friend of ours from the Discord, sadly has left the Discord since, but good to see you still about. Always nice to hear from you. I'm trying to see what else is going on. No one on the Discord has come yet. I should share this on the Discord and let everyone see me go mad. There you go. I've sent it to the Discord and we'll find out. 3 people still watching. I love that I haven't lost anyone yet, even though nothing is happening. I genuinely don't know what I thought was going to happen here. You mean ask about getting back on? We can sort that out. I can get you a link. I can generate links. Is this what we're gonna do? We're just gonna generate Discord links over the chat, over YouTube. Me and the 3 watchers. All I'm proving here is that if there is a silence, I will fill it with something. Let's see. Oh, we've gained some friends. There's 4 of us now. Let's see. I will have to come back to you on the Discord link because I'm struggling to generate one while being filmed. Oh, here we go. There you go. You're invited. Sorted, Commander. Welcome back to the fold. Hello, Ponderer. Yes, saying hi before work. I figured this might happen. It's like super early in America, right? Like, yeah, I thought about that before I went live. I was like, this is probably gonna be a bad idea because of my timing. It's like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning over there. Like, that's on New York. Yes. I also only vaguely remember what felt like to work. It's not even 8 yet. Oh, 7:52 a.m. for people. Thank you all for joining me. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK, and it's very, very warm out. I am stuck indoors because I'm good and I'm not passing on deadly diseases today. Not today, Satan. Yeah, I have been keeping myself busy though. I mean, I'm not working anymore. My job has sort of stopped. Thankfully, in the UK, we have this furlough thing. So the government are giving the company that I work for 80% of my wages to keep me employed, so that when things do go back to normal, people still have jobs to go back to. So I'm getting 80% of my wages, which when you take out my travel through London, which normally costs me like £150 a month, and the fact that I'm not going out or spending money that way, it's probably balancing out for me, which isn't too bad. Hope you guys are all doing okay. I assume people are keeping themselves busy. I've been writing mostly, actually. I've been working on a little project called Max Save the Galaxy, which some of you from the Discord will already know about. I talked recently about it on one of the podcasts. Basically, it's a science fiction sort of story. It'll be told through audio, I guess, when I finally get around to doing it. Where basically it'll be me reading out the story, so people can experience it that way. Although I'm trying to figure out if I should do different voices and stuff, and I can't really do voices. So far it's just me having lots of conversations with myself, which is kind of like this. And yeah, just to clarify, this is the glory that is my Cyberman mug. My favorite thing. I have a section of it here at some point. It's a science fiction story about a guy who saved the galaxy years ago, and now he's like, ooh, where did I send the Discord link? I sent it on Discord, I think. You should have got it. Oh, received an invite with invalid invite. Oh no, I don't know how to fix that. Let me try. Dear oh dear. See, this is what happens when you go live without a plan. I don't know what the problem is. I will fix it later, Commander. I promise. You can rejoin. I can sit here now and try to figure it out, but it would probably not make for the best live stream. I thought I'd send it over the Discord thing, but it's giving me error messages now, so bear with me, and I'll come back to you on that. Man, I probably shouldn't have done this so early. I'm already regretting it. Like only 3 of us. So, nice to see you guys there. I wonder who the third person is, because I think the Ponderer has already left and gone to work, sadly. But no, there's a third. Oh, there's 4 watching now. That's terrifying. Who's our newbie? I don't know. Who wants me to dance? I'm not sure. It doesn't tell me. That'd be a useful feature. Then again, I suppose for anyone who actually has a decent number of followers, having having the list of the thousands of people watching would probably not be very useful at all. Just seeing the figure is probably all that they're after. Am I even in focus? I think I am. I think it is just too washed out, isn't it? Let me see if I can fix that, because that's doing my head. That's actually driving me crazy. It's still kind of washed out. I don't know if that's better or worse. I love that there's still 4. I love that we've got 4 people, just out of boredom. I set the camera up because weirdly, and I won't talk about what show, but I'm actually sort of applying to be on a show, which I'm not sure how comfortable with that situation I actually am. But they wanted like a, I don't know what light is washing out my face. It's this side only. Like it's here. Where's that coming from? Is it this one? Oh dear, no, that's bad. That's much worse. All right, I'm gonna leave it like that. I can't fiddle with lights anymore. How have I been doing this for 10 minutes? This is crazy. Maybe Latty has joined us. The thumbnail for this video. So basically, I didn't realize that like, so the phone was at a weird angle. So when I hit record, when I hit go, so it asked me for a thumbnail, but the picture was tilted, so I had to tilt my head like this to lean in. So the picture literally looks like an image of a man losing his mind. It's. I'm never gonna change that. That's the best thumbnail I've ever seen in my life. I will say, just as a disclaimer as well, this haircut is one I've had to give myself because my hair was like down here and it was driving me crazy. And I was like, if I stay in isolation much longer, I'm gonna have Rapunzel length hair, and I really don't want to start letting my cat into the house through my hair. So I instead took scissors to it myself in a fit of insanity one night, and it's turned out like this. I think I'm just about getting away with it. Like, if you don't look too close, it's fine. Has anyone else had to cut their own hair yet? That's what I'm kind of. That's where I'm at. I'm waiting to see if anyone else has anything to say. But this would be slightly less awkward if more people were interacting. But I guess this is just background noise for some of you. How did I start streaming 11 minutes ago? Well, this is an interesting experiment. I may do this again if people like it. You've seen other people online who cut their own hair. Yeah, I'm terrified that like the quarantine's gonna end imminently, and I'm gonna have to go out looking like this. Although it's funny because the reason I had the camera out was I was making another video, and in the video I said like, oh, like this is quarantine. Don't judge too harshly on this. Don't have that excuse for this end. This is just laziness and bad beard growth. See, now, I nearly did just take buzzers to mine as well. So the idea was that I would shorten it with the scissors and then because I figured like no one's going to see me. It doesn't really matter. And it'll grow back before I'm out in the world again. Although, knowing my luck, if I'd have buzzed my hair the very next day, I would have been called back into work, I'm sure of it. So if we got one of the people I told you to cut all his hair off just went straight bald. Yeah, again, that was the plan, was to shorten it with scissors because it was past my shoulders. Genuinely, it was really long because I'd grown it out of laziness, and I was gonna get it cut right before Chris's wedding. And then the quarantine happened, and all the places that do cutting of hair went shut just before I was, like, days before I was going to get my hair cut. It desperately needed it even then. So 3 weeks went by, and it was just like, it was silly. It was like no human should look like I looked. It was bad. So yeah, so I got really frustrated and just took scissors to it. But the plan was to take scissors to it and then buzz the rest off. But I never got to the buzzing part, and I've just kind of settled with this really uneven. Like if you put it down, you can see how, like, look at that. You can see how uneven it is because I literally just went crazy with a pair of scissors. So yeah, does that photo look a lot? Does look similar to the old overly attached girlfriend meme? Oh, it does a little. Yeah, I've got like crazy staring eyes that follow you wherever you go. Yeah. See now. That is a problem. Like, I also get very, very warm if I let it grow too much, which is what was happening. I was also sleeping worse because of it. It was, like, getting in my face and, like, waking me up. I was like, nah. It was not good. It was not good. A top knot? Yeah. See, I admire anyone who can pull off a top knot. The top knot is not happening with me at all. Ever. I would not look good. Yeah, you probably will have to cut it somehow. I suggest keeping your eye on websites that sell clippers though, because they have been hard to come by, it turns out. We've had we we spent the day so I took the scissors to it before I even looked at the Clippers situation in terms of like being able to purchase. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll be able to buy Clippers. We go on like Amazon, all sold out. We go on like we went as far as we were on like the Superdrug website at one point, which is just like a chain of like stores in the UK that sell that sort of thing, and like nothing. And it was just like how like everyone has obviously had the same idea. And there's me like bemoaning the fact that you can't get a Switch for love nor money in the UK right now, but you can't get hair trimmers either. Like I guess these things must all come from China, like, or a lot of them must. I know the Switch does say made in China on it, so I was like, oh, how this got into the country, who knows? It was either already there first, or it was or it snuck through. I got something using my beard. Now, yes, this is what I tried. This is what I discovered. I have beard ones too. Are they in the room right now? I can't show them. I tried those on it afterwards, and they have a little clip thing that goes on it, so it can like do it at a certain length. Hey, we have a Bianca. Hello. And you have seen the face. You have seen the face, and the quarantine self-cut hair, which is what we're discussing at the moment. Yeah, they don't work. They don't. The blade isn't like, I don't know what the difference is between the blade, but once it gets into a thick batch of hair, like head hair, it doesn't cut at all. So I had to resort to just leaving it at this really ridiculous uneven length, as it is, and it just seems to get. Every time I look in the camera, it just looks worse. It's because I'm talking about it, I'm touching it more, which is probably not helping the situation. So yeah, there you go. That's what I'm stuck with at the moment. Like I said, Nadia said as soon as this ends, I have to go straight into like an actual place that will fix it and be like, can you do something with it? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So I mean, other people that are here, how many of you are working still, like from home? I'm curious to know. Yes, the skin on my hands is so dry from the amount I've been washing them, like since this all started. It's crazy. Like it works from home anyway. Well, lucky you. I've been really. Is it bad that I've kind of been enjoying quarantine? Like I feel like this is my Olympics. Like I was training for this all my life, and now my day has come. I can save lives and be lazy. It's great. It's awful. What's happening is awful. It's actually worked out okay for me. I've gotten tons of riding done. And thanks to this furlough scheme, I'm still kind of getting paid. I feel awful saying it, but it's actually been it's been all right for me. I'm a little, got a little bit stir crazy being trapped inside all the time, but if that's the worst of it, then I mean, I'm certainly in a much better position than some. Yes. Good luck rebuying those missing razors. Those are going to be... Oh, no, Commander, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh. That's frustrating. Well, good luck, because, I mean, that's awful. Okay, so first of all, very sorry to hear, Commander, that's your situation. Hopefully you find some work and everything's okay with you. As I said when I pointed out that it was working out okay for me, it's awful for a lot of people, so I'm sorry to hear that. Shopping for 4 families, spending your life queuing to get into supermarkets, and then let me guess what the next line of that is. Spending your life waiting to get in supermarkets, only to be told you can't buy more than one of the thing you want to buy that of to give to the different families. Because my mum is going through this. She buys shopping for both sets of grandparents and herself. So she goes in to shop for them and her, and she's like, well, we all need bread. I'm buying 3 loaves of bread they won't let her buy 3 loaves of bread. So it's like you go in and you go, hey, I've got. So she's had to like she's almost debating like buying a fake mustache, just putting it on, and going back into the store 5 minutes later. Like, hello, I'm here to see if you've got any bread. Like she's one step from doing that, which I would pay to see personally. But there you go. I queued for like 40 minutes to get into an Iceland the other day just to buy some microwave pizzas because that's what I was craving. It's not good. It's really not good. Supermarket delivery slots. If you check at midnight. See, I've never done supermarket. I don't know why I am immediately suspicious of having supermarket deliveries. Also, I think as well, it's like pretty much the only reason I'm going outdoors at all at the moment. So I feel like if I stopped, like, there really would be no reason for me to leave the house ever, and I would die of lack of vitamin D. But yeah, I think I reckon where I am, I could probably get supermarket delivery slots as well. There's enough supermarkets around here, and I bet even if you just had to do it a couple of days in advance, you could probably get it. The benefit to living somewhere so populated as London is all that stuff. There's so many options. You're not likely to get left out in the dust. I do feel for the people who live in more rural areas though. They have very few options in terms of that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You started when you were in Cambridge. Didn't have a car. I've never learnt to drive, and I genuinely never will. I don't think. I don't empathise with your with that plight because I've always had to lug heavy stuff about in just big bags or trolleys. Yeah. Your delivery son ordered the appropriate stuff for the delivery date. Can't wait to get tinsel turkey and Christmas spoon. Hey, look, at least it's going to arrive. Everyone else will be ordering theirs and getting it next summer. So look at the bright side. That's what's important here. The town I live in isn't even considered a town, it's a village. I think one thing I've been wondering about small communities, and maybe you can answer this, is like I get the impression there's been a lot more like chipping in and helping others. Like I mean, in the building I'm in, like we got a note through the door from like other people who live here, like, oh, if you're in trouble, you need anything, or you can't go out for any reason, you let us know, and they shared like a phone number. So it's nice to see that even in like a small like a flat building of flats, like people are sort of chipping in together. I think that's pretty cool. I'm a little bit curious as to whether that's happening in rural areas. Lower density doesn't mean lower risk. Yeah, walking around in the sort of Deptford area where I live right now is like it's a mega risk. It's like I'm walking around and it's like it's playing some sort of like bullet hail blitz like game where I'm just like trying to dodge all the people who have no compunction to care about virus anything. Like even if I had a cough a couple weeks ago, so I was trying to avoid like going out because I was just in case. But like even then, people were still just like getting uncomfortably close. I was like, give everyone some space. Local school system has really been helping out poor families. That's very good. That's good. I hope there's a lot of that happening. That's the stuff I want to hear about. Governments aren't doing anything for anyone right now, so I want to hear about people helping each other in lieu of their government doing it. I do feel sorry for you people in America as well, because this whole like this was it the check, the $1,200 check or whatever. That does not seem like a good system. That does not seem like a good idea. I think what's happening in the UK might be a better idea, which is like they're paying companies the equivalent of 80% of their employees' payroll to keep paying their employees and keep them on the books. So the money is still coming from my employer and I'm still employed, which means when this is all over, I have a job to go back to. Whereas I think in America, a lot of companies are just laying people off, which means you've got two problems, because you've got the initial problem, which is this stimulus check or whatever it's called, which is like, great, we'll give you $1,000 or whatever. But then what happens, I don't understand how they're keeping people in jobs, because that doesn't solve the problem of when this all ends. Everyone's going to rehire, like, and it's going to be a bit of everyone's going to be desperately seeking jobs. It's going to be a bit crazy. Yeah, so the US has a version of that. It's just poorly designed. I mean, is that just the check, or is there a way of keeping employers to keep their staff on books? Or is it just that they're giving people check? A UBI system would be great if there was actually a core system. I think what we're learning is that nobody has a good system in place for this. No one was ready. Small businesses have a 350 billion fund they can ask money from. Yeah, and and that sounds great, but I mean, I assume there's a lot of medium businesses or larger businesses trying to take advantage of that in ways that they probably shouldn't, and I bet they're getting it as well. It's tragic. That's maybe not the way to do it. Yeah, I wonder what the rate on that is. I wonder how many businesses are taking that up, and I wonder how many businesses are taking that up and actually, like, giving it to the people that they hire, that they they work for. Yeah, exactly. This is the problem. There were no processes in for this. This is what's happening. So the problem is the lending process was designed in a week. These should have this should have been in place. Every country should have had a system ready for this. No one did. Yeah, outsourced to the banks, but even the banks are waiting on the government. Yeah, this is the problem. Way harder to access than it should have been. I've heard a lot of that. I remember seeing stats that in the first month, no one had actually managed to claim any money through the scheme. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. Yeah, that's really tragic. I think as well, like I saw a thing like about Canada apparently, like had one of the better ones. I don't know if this is true. If anyone from Canada can give me a thumbs up, if there's anyone in the chat. But apparently someone like said that they had given a someone done a video where they were like in Canada and like, oh, I'm claiming my my equivalent to whatever that check is in America. They literally pressed a few buttons and like after like 2 or 3 minutes it was done. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, whereas in the UK it was kind of interesting because the company I work for were waiting on the government to announce anything, and in the meantime they just said, okay, well, every 3 or 4 days we're going to check back in with you and we'll pay you in that time, but shortly we'll have to let you know what's going to happen. And in the end, thankfully, the government announced the furlough scheme just quick enough to get them to keep us on the books. I think if it had lasted much longer before the government actually decided on it, they'd have actually fired us. And I think that's a real risk. I think a lot of jobs maybe were lost just before the furlough thing was announced in the UK, which is tragic, or at least the details of it were announced. What have we got? You can see the difference in the countries that were hit by SARS. They took it seriously, coordinated strong response, and as a result, been hit way less hard. Yeah, of course. Wow, an ice cream franchise company needed something around 1.5 million to weather the storm when they applied. The government got back to them and said they were eligible for 15,000. Way to go, America. Nailed it. Oh no, is that America actually? I assume that's America, or is that like? I'll be curious to know. I assume that's America immediately because you've used the dollar sign, but I actually don't know for sure. I'd be interested to confirm if you knew. Yeah, we did spend a good 3 months essentially doing nothing, but so did a lot of countries. Oh, we got some essential people in the chat. Does that feel mildly good? Is that weirdly validating to know you're essential in some way? My job was one of the first to go. I without saying what it is, you'd understand if you knew. But like, minutes into this, they were like, "Off you go." What is it nice to feel like you mean something to society? Let's see. Apparently the gardening industry is essentially quarantined to collapse. Yeah. Stockpiles of plants, they were just dying. I heard there was a problem with farming as well. Like there was a lot of crops that they couldn't bring. They usually bring in extra hands from Europe to like pick the crops, and they couldn't do that because of coronavirus. So all these crops were just going to go and perish basically. It was going to cause food shortages later in the year if it also trickled through. I don't know how true that is. In Lincolnshire, crops are just rotting in the field. Wow, that is depressing, especially when a lot of people are actually like doing nothing and probably could help. Flying in Romanian pickers right now. Wow, that's crazy. I probably feel great if they were paid. Yeah. Virgin wants what? 150 million? Good luck. Wait, didn't they like move their entire business out of the UK to like avoid paying taxes? They don't get to dip into the government funds if they've if they're not paying taxes anymore. Surely, that's just sensible. Are farmers in the US having the same issue? They can't hire workers from. Oh yes, and from America can't hire workers from Mexico, and they say that immigrants are like, you know, oh, they're taking our jobs. It turns out they do the jobs you don't want to do, and here we are. And you're not gonna get food now. Congratulations, idiots and racists. Because suddenly we can't have any immigrants coming into the country. They're immediate problems. Hey, most countries succeed on the backs of immigrants. They're usually incredible people, very hardworking. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let's have a look. Not validating my wife is actually essential. I sit in a little gap where not really essential, but the what we do is essential. Okay. Ah, yes. Could be a coffee shop worker next to a hospital. That would be essential work right now. I would be, yeah. Oh, I've got a friend who's a nurse practitioner. I don't remember her exact role, but she's actually out with doctors. Was it Doctors Without Borders right now as this has all happened? She's saying it's pretty rough. Hasn't like it sort of hit, but like no one really. It's things are so bad there anyway. It's like it's not really a thing like it is in sort of Western society. Picking is a really hard job. You need to be fit and pick a huge amount for it to be economically viable. They tried to get furloughed workers to do it, but most can't. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to say, oh, get me out there. I'll pick a good crop, but I'd probably ruin more crop than I fixed. I'm not. Yeah. Work for an engineering company that does infrastructure work. That's way more essential than you were leading us to believe. Yeah. Oh, right. So to get us off the depressing situation, yes. So Chris was calling Counterpart like shitty fringe or something on MBS this week. Not acceptable. I need to pull him up for that. If that podcast wasn't already running long, I'd have killed him. You'd have had an audio murder. Wife is a pharmacy tech, much more essential. You are both doing incredible and important work. Like, yeah, you know, funny that we yes, pharmacy tech right now definitely related to health and crisis, but there are a lot of people in their homes relying on infrastructure to ensure that they're not going crazy. Like, yeah, you both incredibly important and awesome. I mean, I'm sure you don't have a choice because your work isn't letting you off, but like, without you not being paid, but like, incredible that you're still getting out there and doing what you got to do, even with the situation. Commander has not listened to the most recent MBS. Yeah, that's okay. It's a good one though. Chris and I disagree on an element of Quiz, the new ITV drama about the guy that cheated at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We're just that pathetic. And I didn't reply to it, but I saw your message earlier saying that you were surprised I remember you. Of course I remember you. You were one of the first people that joined our Discord. I remember all the Discord peeps. You guys are all awesome. Much love to everyone from the Discord who's stumbled across this, which is, let's be honest, most of the people here. Well, consider your indefinite hiatus over, because here I am. Hello. And it's not on hiatus for too long. We have, like, I saw a bunch of stuff in the comments to the last couple episodes where people disagreed with things me and Chris said that we're going to maybe swing back around to, do like an episode where we talk about some counterpoints to our opinions. Yeah. You doubt there's going to be an episode of MBS solely about the top 10 game and quiz shows of all time? No. Not unless the entire list comprises of pointless, then probably not. We did review Jeopardy last year. Oh, you got the notification from YouTube before you got the Discord message. I wasn't really sure about how that worked in terms of like sending that out. I love that this is somehow built to like 8 people. You're gonna go listen to that. I think it was funny because I think what happened was we were talking about Jeopardy on one of the podcasts, and we realized we didn't actually know the rules. We didn't. We neither of us knew what that game show was like or about. We neither of us ever watched anything of it. We only knew of it through cultural osmosis. It's not as big a thing in the UK. It's just not. So we drunkenly joked on the drunk podcast that we did that we were gonna watch and review an episode. So that's what we did. We both watched the same episode, and we reviewed it. it was it was quite funny because I didn't realize that sort of famous quiz show waiting music was from Jeopardy specifically. You know that bum 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 bum. I think that's the one it is anyway. Got any bad things to working at? Yeah. So wait, they had a computer compete against champions. I don't know anything about this. Please inform me. So wait, just to clarify, we're not talking about Jeopardy, and we're essentially saying that IBM had some sort of computer called Watson that challenged Jeopardy champions at the game. I assume it. So, but that's just. Is that not just Google? Like, could it not? Was it air gapped? Like, did it have a database? But again, is that not just? Is that not just the same as facing a person who can Google the answers? You used to be able to play the Jeopardy waiting tune on a drum set. That's a. I kind of want to see that. It was impressive because you could understand the questions, right? Yes, because sorry, the Jeopardy questions aren't phrased like normal questions, so it was more of a challenge of it actually processing the more sort of so yeah, all right, it had access to the knowledge, but the real test was whether it could actually understand the question and provide the correct answer from its database through reasoning, essentially, because the Jeopardy questions aren't straight questions. Right. Okay, that makes more sense. That's actually really interesting. Just a data set, wasn't the internet connected. That's crazy. That's kind of impressive. And is it one of those like learning computers that like gets smarter every time it played, or is it just I'm getting, I totally know how I'm going to spend my afternoon. I said I was going to write after I did this for a couple hours, but I want to know more about Watson. And I just Googling Watson does not help. The next option is IBM Jeopardy. Cool. Thanks, YouTube, for knowing exactly what I'm Googling. Here you go. Miles versus Watson, the complete man against machine showdown. It's 21 minutes long, but hell if I'm not going to queue that up to watch later. I don't have time to delve into anything right now. I would love to. In what way did they... So, hey, we have someone from California on Dear Europe early. What time is it in California right now? I thought I was on early for the people in New York. It was like 8:30 in the morning there. It's 5:30 in the morning? Go to bed. Up late or up early is my question for you. Just woke. Oh, up early. What are you doing at 5:30 in the morning, you crazy person? I mean, that's incredible. I'm impressed. I wouldn't be up at 5:30 in the morning for nothing. I don't remember the last time I saw 5:30 in the morning with my own eyes. There's so many drinks here. This is ridiculous. But they tried to set up a medical uses. What use does a Jeopardy playing robot have for medical? Oh, for like you put in the symptoms and it says to figure out what's wrong with them, or could synthesize research and try notes from natural language and output. Okay. You've been up since 12. I haven't seen 5:30 since the lockdown started. They push. So they pushed before it was ready. Interesting. This is just me. This is just me having a chat with you guys. I don't really mind. I hope you guys are enjoying this for somehow. I've managed to build. For a minute there, I built up to 12 viewers. Got bored of staying. Wait, what's that? Got bored of staying awake at around 5 p.m. So you went to bed really early. Now that's the thing I need to do that I have yet to do. Right, so imagine going to the doctor and saying the things he would say and what would take your responses and use to build a diagnosis like a doctor would. Just a doctor that has read everything up to date. Oh, so they're selling it as like we could push all the latest medical information to all the doctors immediately if every doctor was Watson. I see. Dr. Watson. Is that intentional or just a coincidence? Because if that's not intentional, they did a bunch of really weird advertising as well. A series of spin-off anime shorts. They sponsored for Steins Gate of all things. I've never watched Steins Gate. That's another one that's been recommended to me a ton of times. We do have a resident anime expert in our chat right now. Steins Gate worth my time, Bianca? Good anime, please watch. There you go. Is there an anime I could name that you wouldn't immediately say, yes, watch that, it's good? Which animes do you not like? It's a great show, but a weird choice. Yeah. What's more of a peer of doctors? Probably One Piece. See, I've always wanted to check out One Piece, but like, how many episodes? Is it up 900 episodes now? I'm gonna look that up. $928 episodes. Oh, over 1,000? Google told me 928, but I'm gonna trust Bianca over Google on this one. I'm gonna defer that to. It's not worth the time. I mean, that is a commit. I mean, I am in quarantine right now, but I do want to sleep and eat, like exist. I think if I wanted to get through One Piece in quarantine, I'd have to basically not eat or sleep. Well, I could eat, I suppose, while I was watching it. That seems like a lot. Watch something short like Naruto instead. I have kind of been tempted. Chris sort of challenged me on the podcast this week on Nothing But Static to try and watch all of Saved by the Bell, including Good Morning Miss Bliss, the original series, and I'm like, ugh, that seems like a lot of work. It also doesn't seem like it'll be that good and hold up. But yeah. Conan Future Boy. Now, that's been referenced a few times on Steven Universe, hasn't it? I don't know much about that one. I don't even know what the art style of that one looks like. But I've heard many good things. Oh, it looks like an older one. Oh yeah, 78. Only one season. Any good? Utena, yeah. That one I know. I know of it. I moved my computer rig into my closet and my bed right next to it. I'm not moving till quarantine is over. Enjoy. I think that's probably the way to do it at this point. I'm being recommended Kamen Rider. Right, so is Kamen Rider... Wait, no. I don't think Kamen Rider is what I think it is. Wait. Yes, it is! So Kamen Rider was actually a huge part of my childhood, but accidentally. I've already seen Your Name. It is very, very good. So Kamen Rider was in the US, I think, and therefore in the UK, Masked Rider, and it was a Power Rangers-esque show that I loved as a kid, and I had all the toys of like the red car and all this stuff. Like I loved it so much, and I was so dumb because it's not a good show, but it captured my imagination even more so I think than Power Rangers. Although don't tell Chris I said that because I've never admitted that in front of him, and he doesn't know. So don't tell Chris I said that. Revolutionary Pearl Utena. Yeah, see, I've got a like a, so I can see somebody saying they're riding their bike, but like I've got like an indoor cycling exercise machine that is still not seen any use, despite the fact that when we went into quarantine, I was like, I'm gonna do that every day. Has not happened. Really has not happened. Let's see. Oh, kind of Future Boy is a Hayao Miyazaki thing. I see. I kind of like the art style. Am I right in thinking that Kamen Rider is still going? That can't be right, right? Is that still going? Oh my god, yeah it is. It's still going. From 1971 to now. That's crazy. And I thought One Piece had done too many episodes. Stream while on the bike. Look, there are many things that I will do, you know, but that is not one of them. Well, no one wants to see me. I'm talking about Kamen Rider. I don't like it. That's not a good look for anyone. Stream while on the bike. Oh man. Let's see. Watch the actual Japanese stuff. It's the source material. It's leagues better. Oh, let me clarify. Sorry. Yes, when I said it wasn't very good, I was referring very much to Masked Rider, which is a very different show, I'm sure, to what Kamen Rider actually turned out to be. Oh, I saw. Yes, the Fresh Maker. Hello. I did see that comment. I was supposed to reply, and then I guess I saw it while I was. I don't know if I was out or if I was in the middle of doing something. I was like, I'll get back to that, and then I did my typical thing of forgetting that I'd seen that comment. Yes, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I watched a fair bit of it when I was younger. I haven't watched anything of it recently. Obviously, I've kind of gotten out of wrestling, as I mentioned. Is that really the way to go though? Is New Japan like still the shit, as it were? I can't pull off saying the shit. I'm not down with the kids enough. But is that the good one? Yeah, Killing Eve, a more serious, less interesting clone of Death Note. I don't think that's completely inaccurate. I think that's I think that's a reasonable thing. Wow, we have 14 people in this thing now. This is building, and I'm terrified. When it started, there were 3 of us. Hats off to those who've been here since the beginning. 47 minutes ago. Have I considered watching Beastars? So, oh yeah, that's right. I remember you saying this. Beastars. That looks really odd. That looks like the source of all furries. Is what that looks like. No judgment on furries, but that looks like the epicenter of the furry movement. Is what that looks like. Or maybe a result of. So New Japan certainly seemed like what I was describing in that episode of the podcast, and you enjoy it. Like, okay, so to clarify, then you can why not use this as an opportunity to find out more against more for about new Japan Pro Wrestling. So to clarify, it's they do it like one event a month, and it's like done like an actual sporting event where like there's people. Hours of the television time aren't just people in the ring with a microphone inexplicably. Like, they do press conferences to sort of set up the rivalries, and then just have the matches happen like a UFC event. Because that's kind of what I was pitching, I think, in the episode. If I remember rightly, it's been a while. Attack on Titan is the modern anime. Yes, I have seen like a season and a half, 2 seasons of Attack on Titan. I'm behind. I need to catch up. Beastars is Zootopia, but if it was good and made sense. I mean, Zootopia is good. Makes sense part is definitely more questionable, but I enjoyed Zootopia. Or Zootropolis, as I think it was known in the UK. Attack on Titan has a little limit for sure, yeah. And I think I gave up right before it got good again. Like, I feel like I could sense it building, but I just didn't have enough oomph to watch the next episode, and then it just it's gone. And now I'm really frustrated because I feel like if I went back to it, I was already having trouble keeping track of all the Attack on Titan characters. I would really struggle to jump back in now without having watched it. So I'd have to at least go back to the start of the second season, probably watch the whole thing. So yeah. Let's have a look. You'd 100% do a Kamen Rider podcast with me. I like a Kamen Rider. Look, that's looking at it, it's crazy. It's been running since the 70s. Like, that's nuts. Like, I was impressed with Doctor Who running as long as it has, but that is something else. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, they're so. Zootopia is like the more gritty one. So wait, Beastars is like a less gritty Zootopia? Looks quite dark in the images that have cropped up. Wow, yeah, this artwork looks. It's got some. I'm getting some like. Yeah, I'm definitely getting some dodgy furry vibes. But this could just be some of the art that's coming up on YouTube. I think not on YouTube, sorry, Google. I probably shouldn't have Googled it and gone to images. That was probably a bad idea. I'm probably asking for trouble there. New Japan Pro Wrestling doesn't have a weekly show. There was a bunch of boring WWE between soapy stuff. Yeah, lots more wrestling. See, I guess when I must have watched New Japan Pro Wrestling bits when I was into wrestling, I guess I just watched random matches. I don't think I ever sat down and watched whole events, which is probably why I didn't realize it was like that. So yeah, there you go. You learn something new every day. Stories are told in the ring and at press conferences. Yeah, okay, that does sound good. That does sound like the thing I would like wrestling to be. Yeah, I'm pretty up to date with My Hero Academia. I'm in the most recent season. I'm a little behind. I think I saw like 7 or 8 episodes of the current My Hero Academia season, and then was like waiting to build up because I like watching that kind of in bulk. But that's just really easy watching. That's just it's the reason I don't fall behind on that is it's just nice. Like I don't have to dedicate a huge amount of my brain to it, and I can jump into it. Like if I went back to it now, I wouldn't have to go back to the start of the current season of My Hero Academia to keep track of what was going on. It's a very straightforward one, which is so it means it's very easy to pick up and consume. Whereas Attack on Titan, I think it's good, but it's dense, and I feel like it really deserves my time and attention. So like that's how I end up behind. It's funny, you end up behind on the worst shows. You end up behind on the best shows, and you end up keeping up with maybe not the worst, but like the sort of more bubblegummy shows because they're just so easily watchable, you know. So there you go. Beastars is grittier than Zootopia, but it's far more adult. Yeah, it looked it from the images, so your comment did throw me, but there you go. Okay, I don't. When people throw an acronym at you and you just go like, I feel like I should know what that is, but I don't off the top of my head. Oh, Video Game High School. I've seen Video Game High School. I really enjoyed Video Game High School. I don't know how and why I watched that, but I watched all of that and I really liked it. I thought it was again bubblegum TV, really easy to watch, kind of fun characters. Liked it. Yeah, good stuff. Haikyuu? I'm being recommended something. Haikyuu? I'm not pronouncing that right at all, am I? Let's see. Kind of easy watching like My Hero Academia, but about volleyball? Oh yeah, look at that. Like about a volleyball team and about them going to regionals or whatever. Cool. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I did get it. Okay, I got it right. Good. I don't care about volleyball at all, but it does a great job making you care. I think the best stuff does that. Like, I think there are a bunch of like really good. There are a bunch of really good shows on subjects that I just couldn't go. Like Friday Night Lights was I think not a subject matter I'd ever watch a show on, but it's a really good show. Pitch, another really great example. I could not care about baseball any more or less, no matter what happened. Baseball, I don't care. But that was a really great show. There's a good anime called Stars Align about soft tennis. I mean, there's an anime for everything, right? Like, is there I bet there's an anime about mini golf. I bet that's a thing. Easy way to get past a filler arc is to just skip them. Yeah, Says that's a comment from Ninjak. Yeah. I mean, certainly in anime when they're really overly long. I find that trickier with like Western shows when they're a bit more focused in general. So when they do filler stuff and they're actually building characters, so it sort of flows through. I feel like anime are less I feel like anime content tends to less actually use its filler episodes for that. I tend to find that when they do filler episodes, they really mean filler. Like this is just a fun story they wanted to tell, and it doesn't really add to the overall character stuff. You might get a few bits out of it, but it doesn't do the same thing that, like, for example, the episodes people call filler in Steven Universe, I think are way more important than like what often gets referred to as filler in like, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z or like one of the sort of like really big tentpole animes. Let's see. So, seeing a lot of comments about Bleach. I never watched Bleach. Bleach was like, when Bleach sort of got popular in the UK, it was with a younger group of people, and I was just like, I remember I was just coming, I was like just in college maybe, and it was like people in high school were really talking about it, and I was just like, it's just some new kids anime, because I was dumb and young, and I never got into it as a result. I wonder if it's any good. I just. Dan out here calling My Hero Academia murder mystery episode filler, which it is. Yeah, My Hero Academia does like fun filler. Like I usually don't mind their filler, but it's really filler. Like Bleach was my gateway to anime. Yeah, I think I could see a lot of people like I think if it sort of when Bleach sort of got bigger, it certainly might small sphere, and it became like way more part of the pop culture sphere. Like if that happened at the right age, I would have totally been crazy into Bleach. I can tell. Yeah, and you got to dedicate a lot of time to it. That's true. That's the biggest problem with anime in general. Oh my, I can't even. We're the same age. We might be. I am 32. I don't know if you're the same or not. I guess, why would you confirm if we are 30? Okay, I see exactly. I was in college, or just going into college, and people in high school are going to Bleach. I think the 2 years might genuinely be the line that I drew in my head. Like, I really think, that's possibly where it is. Yeah, you're in year 10. That's exactly right then. So I was just heading into college. Okay, I'm not crazy. I remember it exactly right. Okay, not losing my mind. That's good to know. Bianca, keep waiting, because what I learned about doing an anime podcast is that it's a terrible idea because I don't know what I'm talking about and people don't like that. I did 5 minutes on anime in a podcast we did, and the comments were quite something. I'm not going to quite get into it. My 13-year-old daughter got me into Steven Universe. Well, that's sweet. That's something to watch together. That's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. I don't know how I found Steven Universe. I think it just sort of slowly became part of my awareness of things that were happening, and then sorry, I got distracted by the comments. I don't remember what I was saying. That's bad. There's like a weird delay, I think, between what I'm saying and the responses coming through. I started watching SU with my kids too. Yeah, I think SU, yeah. So Steven Universe came into my life. I just remember seeing posts about it on Reddit, maybe, and like then saw an article about it on IO9, and then I started watching. Right after I'd made a video on this channel about my favorite animated comedies, and I put Adventure Time on it, and in the years since, I've learned to regret that choice. It's funny how time. It's funny how time changes opinions and things. When you've got perspective, it's interesting how that shuffles. I don't hate Adventure Time, but Adventure Time is deeply flawed in a way I don't think I realised when I was closer to it. Watch Gravity Falls and fell into Steven Universe that way. Yeah, that's interesting. I did it the other way around, and then was disappointed because Gravity Falls was really good. but then the creator obviously got a bit burnt out and had to end it really quickly. And I just remember feeling like a whiplash from how suddenly the show went from giving me little drip drops of the mythology to here's all the mythology. It was like one episode, and suddenly I knew everything. And it was like I got a headache watching that episode. I remember just being like, "What is happening?" And it was only afterwards I found out what the situation had been, which is obviously a real shame. Obviously, sad for the creator. Obviously, they were going through a tough time at the time, but like from the viewer's perspective, without that context, like it was like someone put the brakes on really quickly, and I didn't have a seatbelt on. I just went straight through the window with Gravity Falls. Exactly. Found it at 2B, which is I think where they decided they were going to end the show, and they U-turned into giving us all the answers. Steven Universe was recommended to me too many times to ignore. I think it was Pop Culture Detective video that finally got me. Yeah, I do think somebody pointed. I can't see the comment now, but somebody pointed out that there's a Rebecca Sugar link as well. So if you already watched Adventure Time and knew Rebecca Sugar was one of the main people giving that show redeeming qualities, the idea she went off and did her own show was certainly intriguing. So gotta love Rebecca. Because it's funny, because before I even knew Rebecca created Marceline was absolutely my favourite character in Adventure Time, and I loved everything that surrounded that. His new show did just come out with Duncan Trussell. I don't know. I'm terrified. I've not watched it yet, and I really don't know if I'm going to. I'm not sure Duncan Trussell's weird scatological mind like view and Pendleton Ward's unfocused vision go together in a way that is going to be satisfying for anyone. I feel like it's going to be a lot of weirdness that amounts to nothing, and I'm terrified it's going to be. Yeah, Midnight Gospel. Thank you for reminding me what it's called. I saw it. Netflix recommended it to me this morning, but yeah. Yeah, I'll probably give it a go too, to be fair. I'm not going to not watch it, but like the trailer didn't. I like Duncan Trussell, I really do, and I think Pendleton Ward's done some really good stuff, and I think he's obviously had a huge impact on the industry and a very positive impact. A lot of Cartoon Networks, whatever people are calling it, like Golden Age or whatever this recent renaissance was started by him in Adventure Time, but his lack of focus in the show and his lack of, I don't know, it's hard to explain without like just sounding like I'm coming down on the approach that was used in Adventure Time. And I know that he will, in the end, a lot of it wasn't really in him. Like he was only supervising that show really towards the end. But yeah, the way that show played out, I didn't love. Mystery Incorporated. I think I saw some of that one. Was that the one that was like quite drastically redesigned? Oh, that's the really classic one. Mysteries Incorporated. I saw a recent Scooby-Doo show. I say recent, like the last 5 years, maybe 10. And it was like they completely redesigned the characters, and they took a completely different approach, and it was super funny. But it was kind of like it didn't really do it. It like didn't go anywhere. Like that's the difference, right? You can modernize a show and you can give it all the new humor, more modern aesthetics and what have you. But unless you actually do something a bit more intricate or interesting with the storytelling, then you've just put a fresh painted coat on the old thing, and that doesn't really help anyone. What was that newer version of? Does anyone remember the name of that newer Scooby-Doo they did? Some creators only produce good things with the right co-creators for sure. George Lucas, yeah. When he surrounds himself with yes men, guess what happens? The prequels. They turned out great. I keep in my head, every time I'm writing now and something I've gone too far, I just think that shot of that clip from the DVD extras of, I think, Phantom Menace of George Lucas, where he goes, I think I may have gone too far in a few places. that moment it hits him, that he realizes what he's done, the mess he's created. It's one of my favourite moments ever, because you can just see it in his eyes how sincere that is. What's new, Scooby-Doo? That could be it. Let's see. No, they're a bit too classically designed there too. Let me see if I can figure it out. What was the one where they really maybe it was. Maybe it is What's New Scooby Doo. I didn't think it was, but it could. The art style doesn't look like what I'm imagining in my head. They've rebooted Scooby Doo too many times. That's what I'm learning. Be Cool Scooby Doo is the one I'm thinking of. Be Cool Scooby Doo. Yes, there it is. With a very different looking cat. I mean, I don't know how this is going to show on screen, but for those who... That's a very different approach to the characters and designs and stuff. I got there in the end. Yeah, it looks like Family Guy. It does a little bit look like Family Guy. Am I the only one who stays with shows for characters and their dynamics? Filler episodes are my favorite. I do think generally in Western shows they use them for that a lot of the time. I was more complaining about the way anime structures filler episodes, which is they genuinely just go, hey, let's do something fun and dumb for 20 minutes, like when Goku and Piccolo go out learning how to drive. Like it's a ridiculous episode that doesn't need to exist. It doesn't tell us anything about the characters. It's fun, don't get me wrong, and it's the memes, but like Western TV tends to, if they're doing them, at least build in some character stuff. So I mean, a filler episode may not add to the overall story or the actual plot progression, but it will like give us something new about the character maybe, or some insight that will help us care about them more. So when the plot progression does happen and other stuff goes wrong or right in their lives, that then they can, there's consequences. Like it actually builds to something and actually helps. I'm trying not to. The comments are moving very fast, and I was desperately trying to find out which Scooby Doo I was thinking of. So Land of Lustrous. Yeah, no, I'll get to it. I promise. That one I will watch because that's been recommended to me far too many times, and the Steven Universe links are too strong. That is one I will probably get to at some point. In fact, I would say it was a cert that unless I get hit by a bus tomorrow, I'll probably at some point see that. It's when I find the time. Be Cool Scooby Doo was really funny. It was really, really funny, but I remember it not doing anything. Like the new DuckTales, what's been so clever about the new DuckTales is they gave it the new coat of paint, so it's the new art style, new sense of humor, an approach to humor, but then they've given it like a lot of depth and character stuff, and Huey, Louie, and Dewey all feel different. And they've done a real lot to like build an overarching story. Whereas I think what I noticed about Be Cool Scooby Doo was that they'd updated the style and comedy and all that, but the show, the bones of it hadn't really been changed enough to make it feel truly modern. So we still have buses in the UK. Amazingly, they just announced this week that you can only get on them from the side door now, not the door near the driver, because too many drivers were getting ill. Shock. Buses still exist. It's kind of crazy. Like when I go to the shops nearby on foot, because I'm not going to get on public transport right now, buses going past are kind of like, yeah, it's like I watch them and just go like, how are you? Like the credit to the drivers, like how incredible. But yeah, this is all I have left without Nier Automata. Look, okay, with Nier. I may have sounded very harsh. That was genuinely my reaction. So for those who don't know, on the Discord, it's been recommended to me that I play Nier Automata. Automata. God, I'll never say that right. So many times it's been recommended to me, and particularly by Bianca, who's in the chat here as the Total Bite. Near a tomato. So many times that I was like, I came up free on my Xbox Live thing, and I was like, I can't not try this now because I've had it recommended too many times, but I didn't particularly enjoy it. I'm sorry. I feel bad. It bothered me. I'm just rearranging my legs because it's starting to hurt. Did I sacrifice my save to the gods? My save on Nier? No, it's still there. I could go back to it, But like basically what happened was I play the game. I'm not particularly enjoying the combat. I didn't, I got it. I understood what they were trying to do. This switching perspectives thing was like to try and create more like dynamic fighting and challenges and stuff. And I kind of, I understood it, but it didn't. I wasn't enjoying it very much, and I was like, "Well, it's okay. I can deal with combat that's only okay because like I like the characters so far, and I kind of enjoy the world they're building. I'm on board." And then the world opened up after that sort of first like hour of play or whatever it is. I don't know, maybe it was less than that, and I was just immediately just with the prospect of a big open world and a particularly empty and desolate one. I couldn't do it. My heart sank. I couldn't. I couldn't. I know. It hurts. It hurts Bianca to the core. Imagine all the think pieces that could exist. I'm sure. Look, I'm sure it's a great story. I got senses of that. Is there a way to join the Discord? Well, yes. There still technically is, but I have to double check into you a little bit first because we had a real bad troll who caused a lot of problems and caused us to shut it down a little bit. So just double check the account's history, like, and then I can send it. So I will make a note, Freshmaker, to have a look for you, to see if I can get you a code somehow. We'll figure it out. Yes, thank you for sticking around for so long. It has been like an hour and 10 minutes, Commander. I appreciate you joining us, and I will get that link to you. I promise. So wait. So let me. Yeah. Okay. So let me just clarify the premise of my group movie. I didn't really finish what I was what I was saying about it. So for me, I played a lot of open world games, and I must admit it's partly just the gaming industry. There have been so many of them. And I was actually the only. What I was liking about Nier was the story, and as soon as it opened up into a big world and I was doing fetch quests, I was like, the time that I'm spending here isn't progressing the story, which is the only thing really keeping me interesting. So it's a pacing thing for me. Like if they'd have found a way to keep the story moving, a big open world isn't the end of the world, but like because the open world is like pulling the brakes on the story, and that was really all that was gripping me. And instead, it's like grindy. I'm going out there into an open world. There are enemies, patrolling the areas. I'm going on a fetch quest, fight some enemies like that. The combat. If the combat was good, I would enjoy those moments more. Because I wasn't thrilled with the combat, the only thing that was getting me through it was the story. When it stopped being linear and started being open world, then suddenly there was a lot less incentive for me to keep playing because the thing I was enjoying was the story, and that's now ground to a halt while I, go do a fetch quest or whatever. And it was a pacing thing. So yeah, there you go. Let's have a look. My lockdown gaming achievements finished Save the Light with 100% achievements. And now going through Mass Effect. Good luck going through Mass Effect. Wow. There you go. Let's see. I'm trying. The comments are moving faster than I can keep up with them now. Yeah, exactly. I knew there were multiple endings that you'd have to play through the game a ton to get to them all. I already knew that going in, so that's not really spoilers. So that's why I can't keep track of the comments. Is Bianca's pushing this through? It's unlikely I'll come back to it. I'm going to say that now. I am sorry. So yeah, there you go. That's my gaming situation. To the person going back through Mass Effect, I think that was Mark. Yeah, I don't know how that holds up now with the whole thing in place. I don't know how that works again. When I feel like picking it up again, oh boy, I really hope I come back. I promise you that's not likely to happen. I'd be very surprised. Is it weird going back to Mass Effect now? Because people didn't like the ending, or did they fix the ending for people who play Mass Effect? So I dropped off Mass Effect before that third one came out, and I saw all the outrage for the ending. For those in the comments here, how did the if you're in quarantine, you'll be clawing at anything. I can't. What do you want from me? I really. It's very unlikely I'm going to go back to the game. There are so many games on my list of games I should be playing. I'm not going to play one that I wasn't enjoying. I'm sorry. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is amazing. Hollow Knight is incredible. So you're saying there's a chance? Yeah. Yeah, so I heard the same about the ending of the third Mass Effect and the fourth Mass Effect were not good, is what I was told. I dropped off after the second one, so going back through them must be challenging. Like knowing that was the popular opinion. All I've been doing is playing games. Games you always play instead of trying anything new. I have an entire YouTube playlist called So You Finished Nier Ready For You. No, I can't help you with that. I promise I can't help you with that. You should share that with someone else. You just enjoy making me squirm and feel awkward and feel bad about the fact I didn't like the game. Yeah, success. It's working. It's working really well. Yeah, I played a few games for like comfort food when I first got into quarantine, but the only game I'm really playing now, I'm doing a mixture of Outer Wilds and the fishing element specifically of Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've only got 2 more fish to catch that are available this month, and then I guess time travel is an option. Time travel is only an option if Nadia lets me time travel. It is her Switch technically, so I don't really have an option there. So Bianca has just said, for those who are listening to this and not watching, is this what an Asian parent feels like when their kid says they don't want to be a doctor? Yeah, I mean maybe. They're just crippling disappointment. No, I won't spoil Outer Wilds, don't worry. But I'm really enjoying it. That's a lot of fun. Really recommend that game to anyone who hasn't. Like, without spoilers, I would say it's one of the most genuinely intriguing open worlds that's ever been created, because the story is coming like it's that simpatico of the story and the open world. I think maybe that is the problem maybe I had with Nier, was that like it felt like, oh, I'm in the open world, I guess the story is going to grind to a halt while I go get this guy his doohickey so he can do a thing. Whereas I feel like with Outer Wilds, when I'm traveling through different planets and stuff like that, that's what's progressing the story. So yeah, I think it's so yeah, Outer Wilds. Oh, sorry, I just saw that comment. It's the so there's Outer Worlds and Outer Wilds. Outer Worlds is the Firefly-esque gun, sort of like to and like sort of like a Wild West future with this kind of a comedic plot, but like quite exaggerated characters, sort of space adventure. Outer Wilds is sort of like a more thoughtful, pondering exploration of space. So there you go. And I've already played Celeste. Celeste is great. So I completed Celeste. I really enjoyed it. I didn't get all the extra tapes though, the ones that were harder to get because they were too challenging for me. I know why the world is empty, Bianca. I understood the context of that, but then don't put me in it if it's empty. If your story requires the world to be empty, then don't force me to wander around it, just aimlessly trying to find the marker point. It was yeah, and also I will say the map in Nier is terrible. It's a useless map. I found it really hard to find checkpoints in only the small section of the game that I explored. Go here to get a thing. 20 minutes later, where's the thing? Terrible. It might just be me. Maybe, look. If this makes you feel any better, I'm the wrong one. I'm broken. I didn't get it because I'm a big dummy. If does that make you feel? I hope that makes you feel better. But I do recommend everyone play Outer Wilds. Actually, Outer Worlds was pretty fun too, but only for a certain amount of time, because that sort of like Fallout-esque sort of, you go to a city, you know, you meet really interesting characters, but it's the same problem actually. I guess it's similar to the issue I had with Nier, which is like, hey Ruben, hello, nice to speak to you. Welcome to the stream. This has been going for 80 minutes so far. I can't believe I'm still talking. But there you go. Nice surprise to get to. Well, yeah. So I guess, what time is it now? Like, so in America it must be like 9 o'clock in the morning. In New York at least it must be like 9 in the morning. And like it must be like 6 in LA. You people are crazy if you're up that early. B-sides, that's what they're called in Celeste. Yeah, I didn't collect all the B-sides. That was too hard for me in Celeste. Yeah, so I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so in Outer Worlds, Outer Worlds, there was a lot of like, you go to a place and you were interested in the story, but then there'd be a lot of stuff to just keep you busy instead of actually progressing it. And like, I don't know. Time check, it's 11 p.m. in Melbourne, Australia. Huh. There you go. Wait, there are B-sides and C-sides? How far did I get? Now I don't remember. So people... Were the C-sides in it originally, or is that something they've added more recently? Oh, Mark's off to Sainsbury's. You have my dearest sympathies. Having done a shopping trip on Sunday, I enjoy being told you can't buy enough bread. So let me see. I can't tell. I don't know if this is intended to be funny or not, but I found this comment very funny. To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Nier. The map is extremely subtle and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics. Most of the quest marks will go over a typical viewer's head. That sounds like the sort of thing somebody might say about Rick and Morty. That was great. So Ruben says, what are you doing to pass the time these days? Well, this, for one, is a thing I'm doing this afternoon when I should be writing. And that is what I've been doing. I do a thing called Max Save the Galaxy. For those who don't know, it's I've been doing a thing called Max Save the Galaxy, and it's basically a sort of an audio project, an audio book maybe you could describe it as, but it's basically a story I'm writing about a guy who saved the galaxy in a sort of science fiction universe, and now 25 years have passed and nothing changed. Like, I guess he thought giving humanity a second chance would make them better, would make them would make them improve, you know, would make them maybe stop warring, or, you know, start looking after each other, and they didn't, and humanity kind of let him down, is how he feels. So he's very grumpy and jaded by the whole experience, and this young kid approaches him who is still young and full of life and excitement for the world, and thinks he knows that the galaxy's in danger again, and approaches Max and wants him to help him save it, and that's where the story sort of starts. But it's kind of like, it's a comedy. It's a Rick and Morty coffee master. Okay, cool. Is that how long I'll take to make it? 25 years? Yeah, that's what it feels like right now. I think I released the first sample of it in like December 2018. Not good, but I've been really writing a lot, and I wrote a piece actually that I posted on the Discord a couple of days ago, which I you know what, to pass the time, I'll read for you guys now. So this is a section from it. This is the narrator of the thing describing the current situation on weapons in the not so distant future. Old Earth guns had been outlawed so long ago now that people wouldn't recognize one if they found one. They had been replaced with devices called Win-Ears. WINIR stood for Weaponized Interlaced Non-Ionizing Radiation Emitter, a name notable for being awkward to say in both its long and short forms. So people had opted for calling these devices a gun, or guns if you happen to be the sort of person who owned an arsenal. Being difficult to say was not the only problem with these devices, they were also far subtler than guns. No flash of light, no dramatic bang, just a click. It turned out quite a few more people than you might expect were interested in shooting someone, and that loud attention-drawing sounds of the old models were actually causing them to show restraint. So naturally, with the huge spike in deaths that followed the launch of the new device known as a gun, independent governments sensibly banned the devices almost immediately. The GUP, however, opted for a different approach. They legislated that these devices could still be sold, but only if manufacturers added sound and a visible flash, a decision they insisted had nothing to do with the amount of tax they earned from the sale of these devices, and they hadn't even noticed that the planet they produced them on was within their territory anyway. The added noises and sounds predictably did not stop the world's biggest and richest criminals from getting their hands on custom-built devices that lacked those features, but your average consumer looking to commit murder was forced to do so, complete with a flash and a bang once again. So there's a little sample of the book. Let's see. The Big Bang happened. Most people have since considered this a bad move. Yeah, I think that might be Douglas Adams. That's a great one. Has the New World Order influenced the story? I think if I was doing nearer future, I might have thought about that, but it's so far future that I kind of had to not think about it too much. But yeah, for sure. It's certainly given me insight into how governments respond and react to situations, though. So it won't necessarily inform the world, but it might inform the way governments in the story behave. The governments aren't really a huge factor in the story, because I don't want to get bogged down in politics too much, because I think there's a real risk of me just going off on one if that happens. The story has to stay focused on Max and Kid, who are the two characters that are at the heart of this, and their journey. So, but the flashes we will get of how the government works and stuff, they will be informed with how the incompetence that I've witnessed in our governments now. So yes, I want to see. I want to see the rant. The rant would be, yeah. Didn't know if this was mentioned yet, but have you watched Infinity Train Book 2 yet? I have watched the. I watched all the teaser videos for season 2 that Cartoon Network put up, and I recorded a random ramblings about that, and then I watched the first 2 episodes, and I've recorded random ramblings about those. They've not been released because I've not had time to do the subsequent ones, and I want to get into a rhythm before I start releasing those again, because I quite enjoyed that release order of doing them once a day, but I haven't been able to do that, so they have not yet. They have not yet been released, but they will shortly, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah, you definitely don't want to see me go off on one on the politics thing at the moment. It's like, who knew? Who knew that no one gives a shit about anybody but themselves? It's really quite... Like, I should have known. And human nature is very evident and has been very evident throughout history, but dear Lord, you do despair sometimes. Marble Sports, yes. So for those who haven't been following our podcast, I had a big... on Nothing But Static a few months ago, I had a big recommendation for Yele's Marble Runs, which is a YouTube channel where the guy he's incredible. The Marble Olympics, 100%. I'm a Green Ducks man myself. Quack Attack. # Quack Attack. But basically, it's just this insane, for those who don't know, it's these insane videos where the guy just gets marbles and races them in down like tracks and slopes and stuff, and then he gets this other dude to commentate it who brings them so to life, and it's just incredibly addictive YouTube videos. They're just insane. I could watch them forever. Yeah, so somebody say new Animal Crossing update. Is it the game has had an update? Oh, that's exciting. I'm probably not going to get to play it now till tomorrow, but what? I love Marbula One. I thought Marbula One was awesome. They've if anyone's seen, if anyone does, oh, of course Bianca is a hazer. Disappointed. Quack Attack all the way. Oh, Midnight Wisps as well. All right. I don't know how the Midnight Wisps. I can't remember how the Midnight Wisps performed, but I recall it not being good. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did better than the Green Ducks. I don't. I could be misremembering. I had to look up the. I'd have to, Snowballs all the way. Man, you guys are. Like, what is happening here? Where are the Green Ducks fans at? I do kind of get the Midnight Wisps though. Those balls look really cool. I nearly went. When I started watching it, I was nearly sort of quite following the Snowballs because they're the easiest to identify. So if you're trying to watch the progression in like a big race, that seemed like a good way to do it. Momo, Yeti, Momo, the Wisps. Dear Lord, everyone! Wow, who knew that the marble runs? We did decent. Commander Obsidian has no idea what we're talking about. To clarify, for anyone who's just rejoined, the Marble Run YouTube channel, which does these races with marbles. Oh yeah, they're falling out with was it with the manager or something? Oh no, they fell out with each other. So basically, let me go back and explain this because it sounds like there are more people confused. Very quickly, there's a guy who does these YouTube videos where he gets marbles and he races them down tracks, and he's given them all team names and characters and stories, and this commentator sort of commentates over them and sort of develops those. It's pretty incredible. Savage Speed is more like Savage Cheaters. If I had a second team, it would be O'Rangers, I think. They have kind of blown up with the COVID situation. But what's funny about that is that I got back into it just before that happened. And then, like, it feels like the world just went like, oh, Dan, look, we're going to make this thing you've just gotten into, like, really, really popular out of nowhere. And you thought American football was competitive. Honestly, the comments on his Marble Room videos are hilarious. Yeah. Waspy did fall off the ramp in race 3, and then his teammate was mad at him, or the coach. I do remember that now. So they did used to dump the marbles down sand tracks. More recently, they've done some indoor stuff where they've built tracks that were plastic and stuff like that, and they've also done the Marble Olympics, which is all done indoors as well. Would podcasts on the sports be cool? Does Chris, on specifically does Chris know about it? I told him about it. Dan's found the subject for a new podcast. A podcast Marble Olympics after show would be everything. Maybe I'll do some content on here. Like maybe I'll because it's I didn't know so many people were into it. Like it's crazy that I've mentioned that it's come up and like everyone's watching it. It's so funny. But the thing is, I'm actually into racing, so I like watch. I watch Formula One and Formula E. I had tickets to go see Formula E in London in this summer, but sadly, the building in which was going to be the Excel in London, which was going to be the site of this Formula E race, has been turned into an emergency hospital in the wake of the current situation. So I don't think the tickets I purchased to go see Formula E later this year are going to be worth very much, to be honest with you. I hope it'd be nice to get my money back, but like I get it. If not, I will see what happens, I suppose. Marbula One is the indoor one, and then the Marble Rally is the outdoor one. And funnily enough, as I should mention Formula E, the guy that does, there you go, Marbula E has Jack Nicholls, who is the Formula E commentator. That broke my brain, because as somebody who has been watching Formula E for a long time, is very familiar with Jack Nicholls' voice. When I switched on the Formula E marble race and his voice came on, that really was something else. I can't express how much that kind of broke my brain a little bit. We need a podcast on the best Italian voice actor for Steven Universe. This has come up before. Is there's either a joke or a meme there, or just something like that I'm missing about like the different voice casts for Steven Universe? Is there like is there like something funny specifically about that people, because this is a few times that's come up, and I don't know why. Maybe someone can explain. And then at some point I should stop doing this so I can get back to writing, because this has been my way of not writing today, it seems. Although it's been very fun to talk to you all. It's to cheater into third. It is indeed. Honestly, the Formula E one I really, really enjoyed. Two huge German manufacturers. The one thing I was disappointed with, by the way, in Jack Nicholls is that he didn't describe he kept saying they were going wrong through one of the corners, but they were mounting the curb. That's the term. Come on, Jack Nicholls. They were mounting the curb. This is my way of getting out of bed and starting work. I mean, sorry. I'm sorry for what this is. Writing is fun. I'm enjoying writing, to be fair, but I think what happens is I write a lot, and I know to be productive I have to keep writing, but then my brain knows that I'm kind of not burnt out, but like I need to percolate more on the ideas, and then I procrastinate. So my procrastination is part of the process. I know that sounds like an excuse to, play Animal Crossing or do a live stream for an hour and a half, but for me with the writing process, like, it's all part of it. Like, yeah. You'd rather be doing this than working. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Just having me rant at you for an hour and a half. I'm amazed that anyone has stuck around for this, by the way. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. No one can be created non-stop without outside input. No, that is 100% true. And it's hard to justify it because you have to worry where the line is, though, because I've got a lot of friends who would use that excuse to not work. Like when I was in uni, I was studying writing, and a lot of people I was in halls and stuff with were writing too, and they were saying, "Oh, I've got got to take some time for writing for the creative process," and use phrasing like that. No one can be just creative non-stop without taking some input in. But then they would vanish for a week at a time and just watching TV or whatever, and go like that, and then you would know that it was more of an excuse than the reality. So I have to, whenever I'm doing that, I have to be aware of where that line is and when I've gone too far and when I am just being lazy, because if I'm not pulling myself in, then I'll never get anything done. And I mean, look what's happened. I mean, the first thing for Max was written late 2018, like December 2018. I wrote it very quickly because for that section of the story, I didn't need to know much about the wider world of Max. But then the piece that follows it immediately had a scene where some information was given, but I didn't know all the details yet. So I went and wrote a document, something like, I think it was originally something like 15,000 words, called "How Max Saved the Galaxy," which told the whole backstory, and I put it all together that way. And I've since edited that down and trimmed it down to the most potent information and the most key information, which is like 9,000 words, I think now. But that document took me a long time to put together. My wall right now, side to side, is covered in post-it notes as I plot out the story. So yeah, for sure, that's. I've lost the train of thought completely. Oh yeah, so for sure, like when I think about like procrastinating, I have to know when to get back to it, because with Max, like, it was such a big project. I was getting easily. When did the beard happen? Oh God, I'll talk about that in a second. The beard. I said at the beginning of this message that at the beginning of this video that this is isolation hair. This is like, I can't get my hair cut by a professional, so I took scissors to it myself because it was down past my shoulders. This I have no excuse for. This is just what's happened on my face. So what was I saying? So with Max as well, because the world was so big and broad, that it was really hard for me to like just jump back into it whenever I got distracted from it. It always felt like I had to. still had to I had to reread all my notes every time I wanted to do a little bit of work on it. So it's not something I could, a bit like a video game when you play loads and loads of a game and then you have to take a break for a couple of weeks and you get back to it and you're like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what mission I was doing. I don't know what stats I was building up. I don't know what my game plan was. You sort of lost where you went. You almost feel like you want to start again, but there's a lot of work and then you just don't end up playing it at all. Kind of like that with Max, where I built up so much stuff and on reams of notes and all these post-its and all this stuff, and then I would sit back down I got a few free hours, I'm gonna write, and then it's oh, my few free hours are wasted on catching myself up because it's been a couple of weeks on what I was doing last time I was writing. That's why this isolation has been really good for Max, because it's all I'm really thinking about and focused on. So yeah, so that's with Max. When did the beard happen? So the beard, I think I started, God, it's probably been a year since I started now. It was I think it was around July the 4th last year. I decided I was going to try it because Nadia hates facial hair and I've never been allowed to have one. I say that, no, it's a lie. She's always pulled a face when I've suggested one, and I had no idea what I would look like with one. So this is what's happened. Let's have a look. As a programmer, this is a very real problem. There are tons of studies into programmers' mental models, and literally being interrupted to say a few words can cause you to lose half an hour. Yeah, there's a real truth to that, and that works on a macro level of just when I'm writing a paragraph and Nadia comes in to ask me if I want a cup of tea, as lovely as that is, where then I'm out of it and I have to sort of build myself back into what I was doing. There is often when you hear people talk about flow, exactly, it's 100% that, and it's when I get out of it, I'm done. That's my day. That can be my day ruined, productivity wise. So yeah, but with Max, now I'm sort of in a role. I'm pushing through. So I'm very excited to get some stuff out there. The first sort of hour's worth of content is pretty much written now. So I'm very excited. Can I do a ukulele concert like the celebrities these days? I'm not even sure it's tuned right now, so I don't think so. Oh, that is kind of, yeah, that's in tune. No, I'm good though. Thank you. Let me check, but I'm still not going to pick it up. Yeah, that is the thing, isn't it, to do right now during isolation? Everyone's doing music. I have heard the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain. Someone showed me some of their videos a while back. I haven't seen it recently, but I have in the past watched some of that. For a second I was like, what have I got this YouTube video queued up for? But it's the Miles versus Watson video that we talked about right at the beginning of this. This chat an hour and a half ago. I still can't believe I'm talking. Can we see my battle station? Unfortunately not, because there are sadly a huge number of very, very spoilery post-it notes. All you can see at the moment is just a couple of reminders of terms from it, I think. Yeah. There's nothing in where am I? These post-it notes that give it away. But further that way, be spoilers lie. Huge ones too. So I can't show you that now. But on another occasion, when I can maybe tidy away some of the spoilery stuff. They aren't readable? Oh, really? Oh, they're a little blurry. I can see that. Yeah, you're right. What's the most bizarre thing I've done in quarantine? Cut my own hair out of frustration. Just sheer irritation with it. Out of nowhere, I just snapped. Got my girlfriend to hand me a pair of scissors. Crouched in the bath and just... I looked like a crazy person because I had long hair, like really long hair, and just pulling off huge clods and dumping them in the bath was just... It was the move of a lunatic. It was Britney Spears, shaving her head lunacy. It really was. So that's probably the weirdest thing I've done. Clods of hair. Yeah, there you go. Very good. So yeah, that's probably the weirdest thing I've done. Otherwise, it's been pretty boring, actually. It's been pretty... I say boring. It's not been boring. It's been very standard. TV... I do have the Scott Pilgrim books. You're right. Good observation. Well, the colour ones. I love the colour ones. They're beautiful. They are expensive. It took me 2 or 3 years to buy them all. I didn't buy them all at once. I just bought the first one, and then about 3 months later, I bought the second one, and I just sort of did it that way. It took me a long time to collect them. It really did. And I was hoping they wouldn't go out of print in that time. That's what I was banking on. Please don't stop making these, because I can't buy them all at once, because who could afford that? So there you go. What is that about? I'm not sure what that's in reference to, Ruben. I'm sorry, but I. Listening to Italian Here Comes a Thought. Oh god, that sounds amazing. Making a mental note. Oh, the Scott Pilgrim ones. I mean, you may have seen you may have seen the film, the Edgar Wright film, or you may have seen the trailer for the film. Basically, a kid who's to go out with this girl. He has to defeat her 7 evil exes, which is pretty silly and fun. And it's full of video game references and really good storytelling. And actually, I do think some of the subtle character stuff they do in that is kind of a little Steven Universe-y. So there you go. Let's have a look. Yeah, if you're into video games, the Scott Pilgrim books are amazing. There's so many references. It's kind of scary. Oh, so what other books are on here? I don't even know. So we got the Lord of the Rings books, the Hitchhiker's books, the Harry Potter books. What else have I got on here? Some a random assortment of ones that I've at some point looked at more recently that are out of proper storage. So the Michael Crichton Jurassic Park, Shining, It maybe is that it? There's another Stephen King one there. Darkly Dreaming Dexter, which I don't know why that is out. Mick Foley's autobiography. And the truly, let's be honest here, the true masterpiece. The monster at the end of this book, starring Grover. If anyone's never read this, I love this book. It's adorable. It's so good. Like, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's great. It's really good. One of my favourites. There's a new printing where there's 3 volumes instead of 6, also colour cheaper, but it's not the same. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want anything cut. They're really good, but they're very complex. Have a Nice Day was a pretty good read. It's one of my. It is genuinely just a very good book. It's been fun, especially since day for my birthday. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Freshmaker. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, you're welcome. Very welcome. Happy birthday for tomorrow. There you go. Have you read another thing? No, that's the extra one that was done, wasn't it, afterwards? No, I haven't. No. I was very tempted, but also, come on. How do you finish it without Douglas? I was tempted but didn't. Reading a really good book called Transformers Exodus. Very good. Love me some World War Z and Hunger Games. Yeah, the World War Z is one of my favourite books ever, full stop. It is one of the best books ever written. And the Hunger Games series I've got a very specific opinion on, and it's that the first one is a really, really well-crafted book. She clearly spent many years perfecting it while she was trying to get it sold, literary agents, all that stuff. And then they got it and were like, good, we want this, now do a sequel immediately. And she just didn't have the time. And those second and third books feel progressively like they needed more redrafting. And it gets worse for the third one. So yeah. The second book has a bunch of really good ideas, but the execution is just so wonky, and then it gets even worse in the third one. The third one's a mess. They both really needed redrafting, those second 2 Hunger Games books. The Scott Pilgrim reprints. They've just made it 3 volumes by combining 2 volumes, so they're thicker. But you need these 6 volumes. They are very good, and the art is just. It's just that they look incredible. They are. This isn't like an ad for anything, but just they are just an amazing way to read those stories, and they're almost so nice that I almost don't want to read them. I don't want. So I've also got some of my comics here as well. So you got Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, V for Vendetta, some Serenity comics, Watchmen, Kick-Ass. yeah, a bunch of stuff. A ton of stuff there. Let's see. I've got so many books down here as well. Like I've got Are You Dave Gorman, the biography of Kurt Cabana. Kurt Cabana? Kurt Cabana? It's a very different person. Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cabana. Just realised a party. Do I have all the bead figures? Is this the community bead figures? No. Okay, so I have Annie. I'm in the middle of making Jeff. It's a craft project. And then I'm going to go through the lot. But I do have Alex Kidd, a favourite, Sega character of mine. And then, of course, the mascot himself. This is a sonic screwdriver. If I can... There it is. Because why not? And this is a origami crane made out of a bad script. Because the script was terrible, so I turned it into an origami crane. Colt Cabana was never in Nirvana. Yeah, you're right. No, too busy doing a podcast with CM Punk. Where do I get the bead figures? I made these. I made these myself. These are hammer beads. You just get a pattern online, buy the beads, stick them on a bit of an iron over the top with some greaseproof paper, and they sort of come together. So yeah, I'm still making. I've got like that's 11 sonic screwdriver. It is. I also have access to 10s and 12s, although not the best design. I bought it for the set. I haven't got 13s yet though. Where else? I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Oh, my little Arale figure. She might be one of my favourite of Akira Toriyama's weird creations. She's pretty bonkers. Anyway, so there you go. That's some stuff that's behind me. I don't think I've got anything else true of note. I do actually. I tell you what, I do have this. This is my Mogwai Gizmo, signed by Zach Galligan, the star of Gremlins. 13s, yeah, I don't have 13s yet. That's 12s. But he didn't have this for very long. He only had it for like last season, I think. So there you go. I don't know how much longer I do this for, because I'm having a lot of fun, but I'm also very aware that I'm not writing now. Now, this is that point I was mentioning earlier in the process, where you go, well, this is fun and a great way to distract myself. But now I'm at that point where it's like, how much of this is me not writing when I should be? Have I percolated enough? Maybe. Who knows? Full sonic screwdriver. Yeah. Tom Baker's sonic screwdriver is probably the most iconic for sure. Am I a fan of RWBY? No, I've seen one episode and I get it, but it's like I feel like it's gonna sound weird, but I feel like I'm too old for that. Is that weird to say? I feel like I missed it. I feel like if I was younger, I think maybe I'd have jumped on it. Like it doesn't quite work. Do I have Sonic sunglasses? It doesn't work for me. I just feel like it's aimed at a younger audience than I am, basically. I'm not trying to be dismissive of a whole TV show, but when I look at the people who are into it, and I look at the show itself, I don't know, it just feels like it's skewing younger than my taste. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe someone will tell me I'm an idiot. But yeah. Let's see. Do I have the Sonic sunglasses? No, I've got a pair of IMAX glasses for some reason, which is why wouldn't I have those available? No Sonic sunglasses available to me. Don't get into WVY. Yeah, like I said, I saw the first episode and it just didn't seem like it was for me. Apparently it got good since they grew up. Just don't. No, I didn't. Wow. Things in the chat got are spicy. So yeah, there you go. Trust me, I've suffered for 7 seasons. Stop watching! What are you doing? Takes until season 4 to get good. Season 4? Oh, that feels like a lot. That seems like a lot of commitment to a thing. Like, if someone tells me something takes like a couple episodes to get good, I'm like, whole seasons? That's like a lot. I'd argue it got better, but it's still flawed and definitely not not watching the older series for. Yeah, fair enough. There you go. That confirms my hypothesis. I'm sure my reasoning isn't logical. Season 1 to 2 episodes are only like 5 to 10 minutes long. I mean, that does. If I was convinced it would get genuinely amazing, I might be more willing to try, but I feel like even the people who watch it sort of watch it with caveats, which does not make it worth the time for me. Like, anyone who's watching something but with, oh, it's good, but, like, you know, better be a short show, you know. I have been watching, actually, that's what I've been watching. I've been going back through DuckTales, the new DuckTales, the 2017 DuckTales. It's a lot of fun. And I've been really enjoying rewatching that. I'm only like 6 or 7 episodes in now, 8 maybe now. It's good. It's a lot of fun. It's good. It's good, sort of like I'm washing the dishes TV. I would disagree with that assertion. The comment I'm referring to is Steven Universe takes 26 episodes to get good, and I would disagree with that. Steven Universe is good from early and gets amazing after that. But that's just me. Yeah, okay. It is. Yeah. The one thing I will say about DuckTales is like having Kate Micucci as Webby is weird because it's so distinctly Webby because of how they write her, but also it's clearly Sadie. Like, the voice is hers. Like, it's very, very hard to separate them because it's like, yeah. Go watch DuckTales 2017 right now. It is very good. Very, very good. But Catfingers, Dan. Yeah, I mean, Catfingers isn't. I defend to certain elements of Catfingers. If Steven Yeun was just able to do this, it wouldn't be something I'd personally watch. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, look, it's good and then gets better, and that's when it starts at a watchable level and moves into something amazing. You don't know why you stay. I'm really confused. You don't know why you stay watching RWBY. Yeah, if you don't like it, stop watching, please. What are you doing to yourself? That's just pain. I've done it though. Like, I'm committed. I'm still watching Supernatural. I think it's just I'm like somewhere in the last season now. I think I've started watching the last season. Like, this last season of Modern Family as well. Oh god, like, yeah, unwatchable in places, and yeah, I'm still watching it. Oof. Yeah, that's yeah. I know the pain. Sunk cost fallacy. That's an interesting phrase. Sunk cost fallacy. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. We got people going away. To be fair, I'm probably going to have to go do some writing now as well, so I'm probably going to be leaving shortly anyway. So thank you very much for everyone who's watched, because I'm gonna take someone else's cue telling me they're going to go do some real work to do some real work. But it has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you guys. It was a bit weird, a bit random, came out of nowhere. But I am. If people enjoyed this, let me know, and maybe I'll come back and do. And I did watch Legend of Korra. I love Legend of Korra. It's great. It's an incredible show. It's maybe not quite as good as the original show, but the original show is one of the best animated shows ever made. So, like, holding it to that standard is kind of absurd, which a lot of people do, and it's weird. But it's a great show in its own right. Does a lot of really cool stuff. So yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching this, whatever this is. I don't know, just me rambling with you guys for a bit. Come back down. Oh, we're all friends here. We are all friends here. We're a good gang. The other stuff is good later. Listen to the Italian History songs. Yeah, I've made a note. That and Watson playing. That and Watson playing Jeopardy is my two bits of homework from this chat. Invite Chris. I wish I could. Chris is still working from home. If I could get Chris on the phone, but he'd be working. So yeah, sadly. But next time I do it, maybe we'll see if we can get Chris on. I'll do it the weekend or something. But yeah, I'm going to actually go because I've been saying I'm going to go for the last 5 minutes, and now I actually need to. So yeah, thank you everyone for sticking with me. For those of you especially who've been here since the beginning, 119 minutes ago, that is remarkable. Nearly over 2 hours of this. No, 2 hours of this. So yeah, name an android after you. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Don't listen to Peridot in Italian. The comments do come. If I keep reading them, I'm never going to go. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for this, and I will see you guys in the future. Maybe we'll do this again if people enjoyed it. Maybe I'll give some heads up next time. But yeah, we'll see. Thanks very much for joining me, guys, and I'll speak to you in the Discord and in the comments. Take care. Ending things is awkward. Also, physically, don't know actually how to stop a stream. So we all get to sit here awkwardly while I press buttons on my phone, trying to figure it out. This is good fun. This is entertaining, I'm sure. And sorry for those of you who distracted themselves from work while I do this. How do I... Oh, that might be it. Okay, it's actually going to end this time. Thanks, guys.